Hello and welcome to the latest Advanced Television Academy roundtable discussion. Today we're talking about test and measurement, and I have with me five executives from five of the major companies in this sector, and therefore a lot of expertise. So we should learn a lot. As usual, the first thing I'm going to do is ask the guys to introduce themselves and say a couple of words about what their companies do. Rob, if you'd like to start.
My name is Robert Wiggins, and I'm with Signals, and we are a US-based company providing source-to-edge monitoring solutions for video service providers that help them get good visibility into the health of their video services. And what makes us kind of unique is that we have the ability to go past the IP and the MPEG, and we go into the video and into the audio so they can actually detect actual impairments that affect the customer's experience. We're currently deployed in all the major cable MSOs in North America, including Time Warner Cable, Comcast, Charter, and so forth.
Thanks, Rob. Nilesh.
Hi, Nilesh Mandalia from Dek Tec. Dek Tec is a Netherlands-based company, and most people are familiar with Dek Tec's MPEG analyzer, which is the affordable MPEG analyzer that's changed the way field engineers go about doing their jobs. Previously, they had to carry large, compact servers. Now they can carry it with their laptop and provide them with a cost-effective solution.
Thanks very much. Darren.
Hi, my name is Darren Ells from Spirent Communications. Spirent is a test manufacturer of equipment ranging from performance analysis solutions in the laboratory to a range of equipment for service assurance in the live network. Our solutions cover a wide variety of technologies from satellite, Ethernet, triple play, all the way through to access and in-home testing as well.
Patrick?
Right, my name is Patrick Lagerstedt and I run Maxpeak Limited, which is a UK-based company. We have our own subsidiary in India, Maxpeak Private India Limited, and we manufacture test equipment for the installation process, whether they are for DVB-S, i.e. satellite, or terrestrial or cable industry. And we also have leading-edge products for DVB-S2, which we sell all the way from Australia, Europe. We're number one in India with all the broadcasters, and in the United States. And we are centering into the South America market.
Frank.
I'm Frank Bauer with Tollgrade Communications, and we build equipment, centralized automated test equipment for customer service organizations, predominantly in telcos, that support voice, video, and data services. We have, at the moment, about 250 million lines that are deployed with our testing equipment around the world.
Okay, I'm going to go around the table again, and again sort of keep it brief. But I think what it's worth doing is, I may be wrong, but I get the impression that when people talk about fabulous content and their incredibly clever new network and functionality and all the things they're offering the consumer, then test and measurement in terms of the executives is not necessarily top of mind. If I was able to guarantee that the engineer who first saw this video would then be able to get 10 minutes to show it to his chief executive, what would you say to that CEO that just sums up how important T&M is in the context of him being able to deliver the great service he thinks that he can? Rob?
Well, I think it has a couple of things. One is, first of all, is the complexity of the services providing. Today, it's not, if it was originally a video service provider, they're now having to deploy advanced video services as well as triple play, so getting into data and voice. So it's just really driving the complexity of the network. And so it's getting tougher and tougher to really just maintain just the day-to-day operations of that network. So you really do need to have visibility into what's going on in that network so you can react quickly. So when a customer is sitting there watching TV, they get a tiling event, they have audio level issues. When they call in, you can either, one, already be working to fix that problem, or you've already fixed it before they call in. So you can be very proactive. And what we're seeing is, in the past it was just 30 channels, that was one thing, but now you got 500 programs. It's very, very difficult to try to maintain that without having efficient tools, whether it's a monitoring system or test and measurement devices.
Darren, you go along with that?
Yeah, certainly just to add to that, if you look at the sort of increased competition from various type of providers now, then you realise that the consumer actually has a choice as to where he places his business. So we're starting to see that now that test and measurement is becoming more of a thought in the early planning process for assuring services. It's really around getting it right the first time. Otherwise, the consumer can switch from a telco to a cable provider, possibly satellite, and even wireless providers are offer real viable alternatives now. So unless the test and measurement is there from the start, then things can go wrong and customers can move.
Is that something that you emphasise, Frank, that it's really got to be part of the planning from day one?
Yes, and in particular, if we think about IPTV, especially in the world of the telcos, they're entering from a market share position of about 0%. In other words, many don't have any customers. They're introducing technologies and networks to acquire and retain those customers. And one of their best tools for doing so is customer service. And customer service is largely supported by test and measurement. And so a good, solid test and measurement system that can identify faults, can locate faults, can identify when there isn't anything wrong or there's another service provider in the equation. That's all important, I believe, for customer service organizations who are just entering into a new service area.
I mean, the weakest link is actually to make sure that the whole chain works rather than just individual bits. And specifically in the satellite industry, there's been a lot of awareness which has come by that they need to differentiate themselves against the competition. And it's all very exciting talking about the contents, it's very exciting talking about the plasma TV, but the chain in between has been the forgotten link, and the whole service is no stronger than the weakest link.
Given that, and we've already touched on some of the IPTV and VOD, etc., I mean, how would you characterise the development of your own sector in the last 10 years? I mean, what was it like? How many new products, how much new technology has come into this business?
Well, I'd say it's been phenomenal. I mean, 10 years ago, we didn't exist. You're seeing a lot of new entrants coming in because of that. Also, and I think the companies that have been around that long can talk more to what they're doing internally, but we're seeing some really phenomenal growth.
So, I mean, yeah, so Darren, how would you characterise just how far the sector has come in the last 10 years?
Oh, it's been huge. There's been a sort of tremendous growth in terms of test and measurement. One of the things that we've been seeing is a convergence of test and measurement onto sort of a common platform or a common chassis, for example. So the ability for providers to test and measure, multiple protocols and services on that one box, and so they can make one investment as opposed to spreading it out over multiple things. So they realise that, as Patrick said, that the whole delivery link is important. So they need to be able to test that whole thing. So sort of convergence is kind of one of the big things that we've been seeing. Now,
your business works very much at the kind of front line,
yes,
at the installation side. How's that developed?
Well, I mean, from say 1999, 10 years ago, when I entered into this field of the industry, there was mainly analogue transmissions. So there were no requirements because it always worked. It was either a picture, snow picture, ghosting. You always got a picture no matter what. Yeah. Now with the digitalisation, it's very similar to a modern cell phone or mobile phone. Suddenly the signal can just disappear. Yeah. And if this happens during a sort of important game, I normally take a story about cricket in India, in America, be the World Series or ice hockey, in Europe it's football. But if you just are a consumer and you don't get your content delivered, which you're paying for at that critical moment, yes, the sort of thought of millions of customers phoning up to the provider is crucial, and there has been a big change because the complexity of the signals have increased. It's more critical to get the whole chain to work and align the signals, whatever the delivery method are, more and more. And it started with BSKB in the UK when they changed from analog to digital. Yeah. They then didn't insist on test equipment, but they discovered that one installation or two installation in 10 wasn't done properly. So after the initial cost of the installation, which was very low, they had to send out an engineer, which was 10 times the cost.
I've been in the industry now since 1985, and for the first time we're seeing that the IPTV service in particular is one that has changed the network more dramatically than any other previous services introduced. And if we think about what that means, there's head-end equipment entering into the network, there's new access equipment, there's more bandwidth being offered, there's managed CPE, all of this complexity being entered into the network in addition to the content is what I believe is driving a much larger investment at the moment in test and measurement than have in the past.